If this seems a little familiar to you, we did do this last week, but it wasn't promoted. It was promoted for this week, so we're going to do it again and give ourselves another practice with the technology. This time we learned that we'd been holding the phone the wrong way. So this time we're doing the phone horizontally instead of vertically, and hopefully that'll give you a better picture. Anyway, my name is Joyce. Thanks for following Marshall Grain, and thanks to our audience here today. I want to just briefly review mosquito controls in general, and it's pretty obvious why you need them, but there are a lot of products out there that claim to control mosquitoes, but a lot of them are not organic, and a lot of them don't work. And so we've done our homework to try to bring to you the best ones that we found that work well for us. And also it's important to keep in mind that there are actually 3 different ways that you need to go about treating for mosquitoes, because they move around so much. It makes it more difficult to control them. Most insects will jump on a plant and stay on the plant, and all you have to do is spray the plant and you killed it. But mosquitoes are very mobile, and so how do you control these flying through the air randomly and not necessarily stopping except to bite you? So the first part of mosquito control is to make sure that you are treating your property, your lawn and garden, whatever that represents. And you need to treat all of your exterior spaces pretty regularly. And then make sure that you are not allowing them any place to breed. That's really key to mosquito control. The other thing is to protect yourself. Number 2, make sure that when you do go outside that you're wearing protection. And then the third thing is to make sure that you're treating Frosty. Am I that boring? Gosh, Frosty just walked out. Anyway, protect your pets. He heard me say protect the pets, see, so he thought I was going to put something on him. That must be it. But dogs and cats can get bitten by mosquitoes, and that's how they get heartworm. A lot of the mosquito control products that we sell for pets will also control fleas and ticks. So it's very important to make sure that your pets are getting treated. And so first of all, I'll talk about lawn and garden products. And obviously, the products that you use on your garden are going to be different than what you put on yourself. But primarily, organic mosquito controls are based on some sort of essential oil. And they're different. There's more than one that will work. And we'll talk about what some of them are and how to use them. But first, I want to talk about the fact that there are different types of mosquitoes. This is another reason why it's so hard to control them. There are some mosquitoes that live in your yard. Basically, they're born and die in your yard. They find a place to breed in water or whatever, and they breed there, and they live usually not very long, and they die there. Whereas there are other mosquitoes that can travel great distances. They're not even sure how far mosquitoes can travel, but they think at least some mosquitoes can travel like 5 miles. So again, that's part of what makes it hard to treat for them, because they can be coming in from anywhere and not just your next door neighbor, So don't get too upset with your neighbor if they're leaving standing water, but you might want to gently remind them that's not a good idea. We know about the mosquitoes that carry the Zika virus are a different mosquito than the one that carries the West Nile virus. So that's another thing to be concerned about, is what else they might be carrying besides sucking your blood. They could be, injecting you with a disease. So it's really important to control them. And as I said, you want to make sure that you're not only spraying the adult mosquitoes and keeping them under control, but make sure that you're not giving them any place to breed. And the best thing, whether you're talking about chemical products or organic products, either way, the best thing to prevent mosquitoes from breeding are the Summit Mosquito Dunks. It is organic. It's a biological product that you put in water. Mosquitoes breed in water. It has to be still water. Doesn't have to be stagnant, but it has to be still water. And they can breed in as little as a teaspoon of water. They can also breed in moist soil. So that's another thing to look for. But the Mosquito Dunks are basically just an inert material that's injected with a specific bacteria that targets mosquitoes, and it won't harm anything else. You can put this in your bird bath. It won't hurt your birds. You can put it in the fish pond. It won't hurt the fish. You can use the bits to sprinkle on the ground. And it's all completely safe. It's a very specific bacteria that's a Bacillus thuringiensis strain called Israeliensis, I believe is how it's pronounced. But the dunks are great for ponds, any type of like a bird bath, or any area where you can't really drain that area, if you have fountains or something like that. Moving water, they will not breed in moving water. So if you have a fountain that's constantly circulating, they won't breed in there. But and if you have a rain barrel, you don't need to worry about it, because they need some sunlight to hatch out. So even if they fly into your rain barrel through the little hole or whatever, they're not, any eggs they lay in there are not going to hatch, because they don't get any sunlight. So you don't need to worry about that. But any other areas where you have standing water, you want to use the dunks. You only need a small amount of one dunk will treat up to 100 square feet of surface. So that's a pretty big area, and you can actually cut these up into smaller pieces. You can quarter them, and so again, if you have like a small pond or something like that, you would only need like a quarter of a dunk for something like that, and you can do it that way. For moist areas where you don't actually have water, that you can measure, it's just a wet area, you can sprinkle these mosquito bits. It's exactly the same product. It's just cut into very small pieces, into granules that you can sprinkle.
Animal safe?
Animal safe, just like the dunks themselves. They are perfectly safe for dogs, cats, other wildlife. Birds, won't affect birds. If they were to eat one of these pellets, it would not hurt them. Again, you can put it in your bird bath and it's fine. The material itself is totally inert. It just won't hurt anything. It's the only thing that's in it that will do anything is the bacteria that targets the mosquito. And so one area that people tend to forget about are your rain gutters. And these are great for your rain gutters because that is an area where water doesn't always drain out right away. It can sit for a few days, especially if you've got some debris in there. That's a great place for them to breed. So if you sprinkle these bits in your gutters, that will help to control them. And it lasts for quite a while, so it's not like you have to go out every day and treat. They're supposed to last for 7 to 14 days. So that's how often you want to go out and treat. And you know, if you have, like if we've had a heavy rain, the bits may get washed away, so you may want to retreat after a heavy rain. But otherwise, 7 to 14 days would be about how often you would need to put it out. And they come in 2 sizes, the little canister and the big jug. And so, you know, the first thing obviously is to go around your yard, make sure that there's nowhere that water can collect. So even if you leave out your coffee cup or your rain gauge, or you know, if you have a bucket that you use to garden with or something like that, make sure that those are emptied out, that water is not collecting there. And so that's basically the single most important thing you can do to keep them from breeding. And so then what else can I tell you about that? Another area that people forget about are any kind of like if you have ground cover, like Asian jasmine is one of their favorite things to hide in. I don't know what's so much more attractive about Asian jasmine, but they seem to really like that. Probably because it's usually in a shaded area, and that helps to keep the soil moist. It slows, you know, the shade slows down the evaporation of the water, so it stays moist longer. And they really, you know, if you try to walk through a section of Asian jasmine, they'll swarm all over your legs, you know, as you're walking through there. So make sure you treat all those types of areas as well. And then for the adults, again, it's very hard to kill them because they're so busy moving around all the time. So using repellents is really one of the most important things you can do. And I have a zillion different things you can use that are all basically essential oils. For example, our Cedar Warrior is a great product for putting out on your lawn. It's literally just cedar wood that's been ground up into small flakes, basically, that will go through a fertilizer spreader. And you can spread this on your lawn and throw it in your flower beds. You could even put it in a cup and leave it sitting out on your table. It's the same thing that people use with their closets. When you put you put cedar blocks in your closets to repel moths that eat your wool and stuff like that. It works the same way, but this is made for lawn and garden use, so you can put it on your lawn and stuff. And the product will work for about 60 days, again, depending on weather, rainfall, sunlight, you know, how fast it breaks down. But it will also repel a lot of other things. So it'll also repel fleas and flies and chiggers and stuff like that. So it's a great general purpose insect repellent to put out in your garden. And it smells nice too. You can also use sulfur, but sulfur doesn't smell very good. I don't like it. I'd rather use the Cedar Warrior myself. And then the cedar also comes in an oil form. So if you want to spray your shrubbery, which is also recommended, that just putting it on the ground isn't going to do anything to the mosquitoes that are flying around your head, because they're too far away from the source of the aroma. So you want to treat your shrubs as well. And so one way to do that would be to use the Cedar Warrior liquid, and you can spray that. Garlic is another thing that will repel them, but again, it smells like garlic, so it's great. If you don't stick with the cedar. And then we also finally got back in stock the Ecosmart product line. The Ecosmart Granules are another product that, come and join us. We're talking about, it's up front. Yeah. The granules are primarily clove oil with thyme, and clove is actually insecticide, and it smells really nice. At least most people think it smells really nice. It's very pungent, though. I've had people ask me if they can use this product indoors. It's very pungent. I would not use it inside. It also, if you're trying to, you can't really repel mosquitoes from inside your house. I had somebody ask me that yesterday. How do I repel them and get them out of my house? And it's like, you have to, with repellents, you have to give the insect somewhere to go. And, inside your house, there's really nowhere for them to go. So they're just going to be confused and keep buzzing around. So you really just need to kill them. And we have, sprays that will do that for you. So keep that in mind. Anything that's really pungent like that is not going to work real well for you indoors. But it works great outside. It's another thing that you can spread on your lawn. One thing I forgot to mention is the Cedar Warrior is labeled for snakes. It will repel snakes. Whereas the Ecosmart is the only product we have, the granules are the only product we have that will also kill grasshoppers. So if you have grasshopper issues, the Ecosmart granules are the thing to use. And the grasshoppers are out now, so you might want to look at it for that. The other essential oils would include, let's see. The Murphy's incense sticks are another great way to release essential oils into the air. And they also make a candle. Murphy's makes a candle. The candle is rosemary, peppermint, citronella, lemongrass, cedar, and all mixed together. Very pleasant smelling. And then the incense sticks, I think, are also, yes, the same ingredients. One thing about these types of products that's important to keep in mind is that it takes a while for the product, for the scent to get released into the air and to cover a big enough area to really work for you. So it's important that when you, if you're going to be sitting outside and you want to use a candle, make sure that you go out like at least an hour or 2 hours beforehand and light the candle, and then give it a chance to work before you actually go sit out there. Because if you just take it out with you and light it when you first go out, it's not going to, produce enough aroma to start working right away. So same with the incense sticks. They are an excellent way, though, to repel them. One nice thing about the incense sticks is that they do work a little faster, and one reason is because they also release more smoke than a candle would. And they're a little bit better at getting the fragrance going. And they're also, you can burn them, if you're only out there for a little while, you can put it out, and just like a candle, you can put it out and reuse it again later. And you can stick these, they're on a stick so that you can stick them in a plant, or, if you're sitting next to a container plant, you can stick one in there. I had one customer tell me that she liked to use these while she was working in the garden. She would light 2 of them and keep one on either side of herself, and as she moved around the garden, she would just take the the incense sticks with her, and she said it worked really well for her. So, you know, that's a good way to use this product. And they smell wonderful. They smell really, really good. So, oh, and I didn't talk about the other Ecosmart products. Let me come back to that. This is the mosquito and tick control from Ecosmart. Is another, this is a hose end sprayer. Again, you can use it to spray your lawn and your shrubs all in one step. You can, and it also uses basically the same ingredients. The rosemary, peppermint, and clove are the primary oils in it. So spray your shrubbery, spray your lawn. You can even spray like around your door frame. They love to hang around my door frame as you're going in and out. The bugs really like those spots for some reason. So you can spray this on there to keep them away. And the clove will also kill any that you spray. If you're able to hit the mosquito with it, it will kill them. But it will also repel any new ones from coming into that area. Similarly, the fogger does the same thing. You can use this to immediately engulf an area in the aroma. So rather than waiting for a candle to burn for an hour or two, you can go bring this out with you and spray it, you know, as you're stepping out the door, and this will start working immediately. So those are some of the good repellents that we have for outdoor use. And then the other thing I want to talk about is the Spartan mosquito trap. This is a great product that actually keeps mosquitoes from entering into an area in the first place. So this is a kit. You get 2 mosquito traps. This is what the trap actually looks like. You get this plastic tube. It comes with an attractant in it, and you add water to this, and it's all ready to hang. You can hang this anywhere in your yard. You get 2 in a kit. They're not reusable, but you get 2 in a kit, and they last for up to 90 days. And it draws them into the trap, and then they drown in the water, basically, because mosquitoes can't swim. That's why they need to lay their eggs in still water, is because when the surface tension of the water is broken, they fall in and drown. So that's why moving water is okay to have around. But these will cover up to an acre. And you want to put them away from where you're going to be seeding, because again, the point of this is to draw the mosquito to the trap. So if you're sitting right under the trap, that's not a good plan. You want to put this at least, they recommend at least 60 feet away from wherever you're sitting. And I had one customer tell me his neighbor thanked him for putting these out. The neighbor enjoyed the benefit of having the traps in the guy's yard. So they do work very well, and we have those in stock. So that's another way to kill them rather than repel them. But you really need to use both. I would not rely strictly on a repellent nor strictly on the trap. Because there are just too many mosquitoes everywhere this time of year, and again, they're coming in from every direction, and so the more you can do to protect yourself, the better. Now, for personal protection, that when I say personal protection, I'm talking about what you put on your skin. And again, since we're talking about essential oils, unless you have a specific allergy or something like that, these are all going to be perfectly safe for you to put on your skin. And in fact, Murphy's, unfortunately we're out of stock on it, but Murphy's makes a personal based on lemon eucalyptus oil, and the FDA has actually finally given in and relented and said, oh yeah, lemon eucalyptus oil is just as effective as DEET. So, and since that was in 2015, I think they finally issued a report on that. Since then, they've come to the conclusion that there are some other essential oils that really do work, at least for short periods of time. And so there's really, there's a lot of options besides DEET. And DEET is a synthetic, there's no good reason to use a synthetic product when you can use a nice smelling essential oil anyway, and know that you're being a lot safer. So the products that you can use would be for example, the people who make the patio egg, which I didn't mention earlier, but the same people who make the patio egg make a lotion or a spray that you can spray on yourself. Yeah, and this works really well. It's basically citronella, cedar, rosemary, peppermint, clove, same type of product. But you can spray this on your skin, and you may or may not be able to spray it on your clothing. Before you put on your best dress, you might want to be careful and check and make sure it's not going to stain your dress. But you can also just spray it. I just kind of spray around myself and kind of let it.
Like putting on perfume.
Yeah, like putting on perfume. So you're misting yourself with it, rather than trying to squirt your arm. So you want to mist your whole body, and just wear something that if the oil stains your clothes, you're not going to cry. You can also use the refill in the patio egg refill oil, and just dab it on yourself. I've done that before, where I've been sitting outside and the mosquitoes have been buzzing around. I just grabbed this from my patio egg and rub some on my legs, and that usually gets rid of them. Another product you can put on your body would be also makes a repellent lotion. This is more of a cream rather than a spray, so it needs to be, but it's again the same idea. This one has cinnamon and lemongrass, as well as geraniol and rosemary, but so you get a little bit different fragrance. And then you can also wear a bug band, and these are really cool because they come in a Ziploc bag, and so they'll last for, what does it say, however many hours of protection that you can get from it. But if you if you're just going to be out for a couple hours, you can put it back in its resealable bag and use it again and again until you finally use up the product. But one nice thing about this is that you can wear it on your wrist, your ankle. You can even put it like on your dog's collar, or if you have a small dog, it may even fit. It's stretchy, so it may even fit around the neck. Like if you have a Chihuahua or something like that, a smaller dog, you may be able to put this around their neck and protect them with it as well. But my husband uses this every time he mows the lawn. He puts this on before he goes out, and he won't mow the lawn unless he's wearing. He really believes in this one. He really likes that. And then we also have this one here, Salamander Soap makes a No Bite Me Lotion. Again, you have to rub into your skin. And then speaking of lemon eucalyptus oil, Murphy's makes a balm that, again, is a rub-in kind of a thing. I prefer the misters. I actually did use the lemon eucalyptus oil. I use it at home when I'm in my office. I spray my office. It at least keeps them from coming into my office. You know, I can't get them out of the whole house, but I can get them to stay out of my office while I'm working. And that does work for me, and it's not so pungent that, you know, it overpowers you. So the third area is to protect your pets. And we have several products. Again, Skeeter Screen, which is the patio egg people make the Skeeter Screen, and they make a version for pets. It's great for either dogs or cats, and you can spray their fur. Basically, all you do is spray their fur with it, and that will protect them. And it does also deter a lot of other insects as well as mosquitoes. And then we also have our natural chemistry brand of flea and tick, which is also labeled for mosquitoes. So the other thing you can do, I should have talked about, is using the actual plants themselves to control insects in your garden. And it's a technique called companion planting, and it can be used for a lot of different insect controls. Different plants can repel a lot of different kinds of insects. Some of the ones that are good for mosquitoes would be lavender, rosemary, we've talked about. Even basil is good for repelling mosquitoes. Basically because they're really pungent. Anything that's really pungent or anything that's lemon scented tends to be very effective. And then another type of flowering plant would be marigolds. Marigolds are used to, if you have tomatoes, we always recommend that you plant marigolds with your tomatoes, because they will help deter the tomato hornworm and thrips from getting on your tomatoes. So they're very good for that as well. So plants are where all these essential oils come from, and so you can use the actual plant in your garden. One secret though, if you're sitting outside and you want to use the plant itself, let's say you have it in a container, when you go out, just grab a handful of the plant's foliage and crush it in your hand, and that will help to get that scent going in the air. So now one thing that comes up a lot is that I've heard people say, well, gee, this one doesn't work for me. I tried this one and it didn't work, so I use this other one. And you know, I'm not a scientist, and I can't tell you for sure why that is, but it's like, you know, some people just love this, they think it's great, there's nothing better, and then somebody else will say, well, I tried that and it didn't work. So either they're using the product wrong, or my theory is that everybody has a slightly different body chemistry, and your skin and body chemistry are going to react differently to the same spray than somebody else would. And so so I always just tell people, you tried this and it didn't work for you, then try this other one. It's a different mix of oils. Try this one. Just keep trying them until you find one that does work for you, because there are a lot of different plants that can be used. Sage, catnip. This is catnip. It's another great one that helps repel. This is lemon eucalyptus plant. You can use that. Even regular mint will help repel mosquitoes. So again, you know, if one oil doesn't work for you, just try another one. There's bound to be one that'll work better for you than another. So, and I think that's why they tend to blend several together in the products. So that's an overview of the three approaches. Like I said, protect your, treat your garden to try to keep them out in the first place. protect yourself when you do go out, and make sure that you protect your pets.